I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Stories. Flagler County, you're first up on Florida Stories. It's your typical drunk driving stop. The guy pulls over and runs over a fire hydrant, and he's half caught in the ditch, and the hydrant is shooting up water to the underside of his truck. He went through a stop sign there, too. And so that's what the cop walks up on, and we're going to join the body cam footage here, where you can't really see it that well, but there's a little bit of a shoving match, and he has to take the guy down. And apparently, the drunk Florida man at some point gets a handful of the officer's manhood in the process, and that doesn't help the chaos of the situation.
Sit back over there.
What? Put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me, you fat.
Turnover.
I'm sorry, man.
226, I need a channel.
I'm sorry, man. Bubba, I ain't doing that to you like that.
Uh-huh.
Hey, goddamn, I'm bad.
You just grabbed my nuts.
Good news is no one was hurt. So, James, why are you bringing that up? I would like to point out that was on a Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m. This guy is so drunk. On a Thursday, 4 p.m., you're running over fire hydrants, grabbing cops by the sack, and just having a good old time. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
For some guys, this dude's a hero. For some women, this guy is an absolute piece of garbage. He meets a cop, and it's a female cop. She's really pretty, actually. And they start dating. And the woman starts to get kind of suspicious because they never go back to his place. And he's like, yeah, I live with my mom, and it's kind of embarrassing. And can we just go back to your place? And she really likes him, so yeah, it goes like that for a while until, she's a cop, and cops have a good habit of looking into things. And she discovers that he does it with his mom. He lives with his girlfriend, who is 7 months pregnant. And so they set him up to meet him at the restaurant, and they confront him when he gets there. And I guess they assume just because they're in public, no one's going to do anything untoward. But they both end up beating him. Nothing bad. They didn't put him in the hospital, but the witnesses say that they were hitting him, and he never hit him back, and he ended up just having to leave. And the bad news is the cop got suspended. What, you can't beat up your boyfriend when you find out he's been cheating on you the whole time and living with his pregnant girlfriend? I mean, I'm not saying that makes it right, but I wouldn't mind if she remained a cop. Although, 35 years old, dating a guy that was living with his pregnant girlfriend, I can see why she hasn't yet made detective.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. What is it?
All right, for our next Florida story, we're going to find this genius in Miami Gardens. He goes into a cell phone store. He's like, man, I got to get me some iPhones. But he didn't put a whole lot of forethought into his disguise. So he improvises a disguise by putting a box on his head. And you may think, well, that's dumb. Why wouldn't you at least take the time to go get a mask or a bandana or really anything other than a box? Wouldn't that work? Well, actually, the box worked pretty good. As long as he can see what he's doing and it blocks the view of the surveillance cameras, which are all above him, so he can still have a big box over his head and look down at the counter. Except for at this one point in the video where he lifts the box up just for a split second, and the store owner gets it from the surveillance camera, and he turns it over to the cops, but they don't do a whole lot with it. What ends up happening is he prints it out and he takes it to all the stores that are in his little shopping village with his contact information and says, if you see this dude again, because I think I've seen him before, let me know. And sure enough, some guy about 4 stores down, this dude was having lunch with some friends. And so the guy goes, the cell phone store owner goes, confirms it's him, calls the cops, and they actually get it all done, wrapped up in a bow. The guy's going to jail. So the box-swearing idiot, he got caught by a very studious and thorough store owner. Happy ending. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. What is it?
All right, for our next Florida story, we're going to the Orlando area, Lake Eola Park. What is that in the tree? You know how every once in a while they have to go call the fire department because a cat's stuck in a tree, or sometimes it's a little more exotic animal like a ferret, or I don't know, maybe a kid sometimes. No, this is Florida. What do they have? A black bear.
Right now at 5, we are tracking a bear in downtown Orlando. You can see this video here of the bear climbing up a tree. It was seen running around Lake Eola Park.
In the meantime, people from all over have been coming to catch a glimpse of the bear. I spoke with an amateur photographer who took some incredible pictures of the bear. He tells me this is something that he never thought he'd see.
Something I've been trying to capture for the last 6 or 7 months now, and I finally got to see one.
See, that's what I love about even the photographers in Florida don't make any sense. You've been really hoping to catch a black bear for the last 6, 7 months. Like that's your hobby. You know, some people play golf. Some people like to shoot pool. This guy, I've got to get a picture of a black bear, and finally I got one. Where'd you get it? Nah, I was in Orlando at the park. Really? Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Oh, beer. What is it?
For our next Florida story, we're going to Miami, and some guy is at the grocery store, and I guess he's a landlord of some sort. I'm missing details, but I'll pass along what I know. And a younger guy, I say younger, this dude looks like he's in his 40s, maybe 50s, but apparently the landlord's a much older, he's described as senior citizen. And he says, hey, my mom needs to have the keys to her apartment. And it escalated from there. And the younger guy relatively younger guy, pulls out a gun, and the older landlord guy grabs his hand. And so now they're struggling over this gun in the parking lot of the grocery store, and the gun goes off. It goes through the wrist of the landlord and hits him in the abdomen, and then the gun falls to the ground. The landlord picks it up, and he points it at the younger guy. I guess the tenant's son is what I'm assuming here. And he's like, are we cool? Are we cool? Are we done? I'll get this taken care of, but there's no need to point a gun at me. And he's like, fine, we're cool. And he hands him the gun back. Witnesses say the younger man says, you know what? I should just finish you off. And apparently the landlord, I guess, man of his word, he went to the hospital, got treated, and I think he got the keys back to this dude's mom, or I don't know. If I was him, I'd have Victor. I don't know how this finished after we left the grocery store parking lot, but would you ever in 1,000 years hand the gun back to the dude who just shot you? Florida man did. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Oh, beer. What is it?
For our next Florida story, you and me are here just for the sweet audio that the news picked up. KTLA Channel 5 has the story.
And take a look at the security camera video from a home in North Lakeland as masked intruders kick in a door and enter a home. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd says he's asking for the public's help to identify the robbers, but the sheriff and people in the neighborhood also have a warning for them.
Several people in that neighborhood told us they're also shocked that the crime happened there because they say they have two things. They have security cameras and they have guns. And they told me they're not afraid to use them. They said, be careful what you ask for when you come in again.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Oh, beer. What is it?
And today you learned that the Truman Show is about a real town. Sort of.
In 1998, film crews descended on the quaint Walton County town of Seaside, and the end result helped put our area on the map. The Truman Show starred Jim Carrey as a man who found out his entire life was being broadcast on live TV. No one was who they claimed to be.
I was like, man, this is such a cool movie. And she's like, I think I've seen this set before. And I was like, no. She's like, no, really, I think I know where this is filmed. And I was like, there's no way. She's like, it's in Seaside.
Sure enough, she was right. Seaside landmarks can be seen throughout the film. Places like the Two Below Street gazebo, where Jim Carrey's character realizes everyone is lying to him and starts driving around and around the roundabout. The Coleman Tower makes a couple of cameos throughout the movie as well, but nothing more iconic than the Modica Market.
Oh, man, if you've seen that movie, that's so cool. I really thought that was fake this whole time because it just seemed too perfect. You know, like you said, the roundabout, I remember all that. And that's a good sign when your town is so cute and beautiful and clean and bright and shiny and happy that it is mistaken for a movie set. And, you know, we see a lot of disgusting, horrible, messed up stuff coming out of Florida, but this one's so beautiful and pristine. Who would have known? Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Oh, beer. What is it?
Florida Stories is produced by Spring Rock. Follow me on Twitter at Florida Stories J. I'm James Parker, and this is Florida Stories. One thing no one ever told you about relationships is how many gifts are involved. There's always one coming up. If it's not Christmas, it's Valentine's, then there's an anniversary, then there's a birthday, then there's Mother's Day. And even if you're good at buying gifts, after a few years of this, you've run through all your good ideas, so what do? I have your answer. Symmetry Jewelry. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. You can't go cheap and get her something from the dollar store. And it's not enough to just spend a bunch of money. Give her $400 cash. You think she'd be happy with that? I know you're not a jewelry expert, but go to symmetryjewelry.com and click around. This isn't some retail chain jewelry store. This is a house of artists in New Orleans who handcraft one-of-a-kind pieces, and each piece is a little work of art. You suck at buying gifts, so the next time you have to buy a gift, get it right. Go to symmetryjewelry.com. Use promo code JAMES for 10% off right off the top. I get a little commission too. Your girl's happy. Everybody wins. Symmetryjewelers.com. Ladies, you're welcome.